This week on Fan Sharp Focused, we're focused on the Purdue Boilermakers and the Indiana Hoosiers. Zach Zook, once again, the football guy, joining us here on Fan Sharp. Zach, let's talk about these two teams last week. Purdue squeaking out a win against Illinois, which was kind of a tough scene for the Boilermakers, but still got the W in that one. Indiana getting a decent win against Rutgers as well. What did you see from both these teams last week?
Yeah, so Purdue able to squeak by, as you mentioned, against an Illinois team that showed some life at the end of the 2019 season, but hasn't been all that good so far this year. I'll tell you what, the quarterback for Purdue sure is fun. O'Connell in this high-flying passing offense has been fun to watch. He threw for 376 yards and a couple of touchdowns against Illinois, but Indiana, I think, has been the surprise of the Big Ten so far, with their victory against Penn State, with Michael Penix stretching the ball at the goal line. Did he get it? Did he not? They are able to take care of business last week, and it sets up a huge tilt in the conference between the Hoosiers and the Wolverines.
Purdue coming up next week was supposed to take on Wisconsin, but the Badgers have COVID outbreaks, so that game has been canceled. Indiana will be taking on your Wolverines of Michigan there, Zook. And I tell you what, you being a Michigan guy, you know the team better than anybody. What do you see out of this one coming up?
Well, they couldn't have played much worse than they did last Saturday. I think that was the worst defeat for the Wolverines in the Harbaugh era. The Michigan State Spartans threw all over the yard on them. They have significant issues in the secondary that I think this Indiana offense can exploit. Their run defense is pretty solid. They're pretty good in the front seven. Stevie Scott, I think, will present some challenges, but it'll be the athletes out on the edge where I think Indiana will have the advantage. Again, this is just a field goal line, which tells you that these two teams are relatively even, and Indiana, in fact, is obviously favored in this game. So I think that for the Wolverines to get a win against Indiana, they're going to have to contain Michael Penix Jr. And for Indiana to get a win, I think they need to exploit the secondary of Michigan. Take a page out of the Ohio State Buckeyes playbook, take a page out of MSU's playbook, and run these man beaters, crossing routes, take shots over the top, because since they have graduated a lot of their secondary and Ambry Thomas had opted out due to COVID, they are pretty green in the back end. And I think that's an area which Indiana can take advantage. The question is going to be Michael Penix, who's such an athlete, can he ride it out on his arm? Because I think that's where he's going to have to beat Michigan. They do have great athletes in the front seven, so he can beat them through the air. They're very beatable through the air. The question is, can they?
Michigan, Indiana, 11 a.m. on Saturday. Zook, thanks for the time, man. We'll see you then.
Appreciate it, TJ.
And don't forget, if you'd like to bet legally in Indiana, Illinois, or Iowa, be sure to check out fansharp.com and look for your deposit bonus with promo code FORT. Fansharp. Root like a fan. Bet like a sharp.